In this screencast, we're going to do the initial setup for our project. And to do this, I will open up the terminal, I will cd to the desktop, and I will make a directory, and we will call it contacts. And let's cd into contacts. Now, I'm going to assume that you already have Node installed and that you already have Bower installed. These are both pretty standard tools at this point, so I'm going to assume you know how to install these. If you don't have them installed, you can find Node at nodejs.org and Bower at bower.io. If you're not familiar with these tools, here's a quick introduction. Node allows us to run JavaScript on a server, basically outside of a browser, and this is what we're going to use for our backend. Bower is a package manager for front-end packages, like Angular or Bootstrap, both of which we're going to be using in this screencast series. Now, Node itself comes with a package manager for backend packages, and that is NPM. So we use NPM to manage our backend packages, and Bower to manage our front-end packages. So now that we have created our contacts directory, let's go ahead and install the necessary components. So for the server side, we're going to use Express, which is a really great server-side framework. If you're not familiar with Express, I recently did another course here on Tuts Plus about Express Framework version 4, and so you'll want to check that out if you haven't used Express before. So to install this, let's do npm install express. That'll take a second, but once that is done, we can move on to installing our front-end packages. Now, before we actually install any packages with Bower, let me show you my home directories.bowerrc file. This is the configuration file for Bower. By default, Bower will put any packages that it downloads into I think it's the Bower_components, or maybe it's just called components directory. I've changed that up. I want to put all the Bower packages that I use into a public/lib directory. Now let's go ahead and do Bower install Angular. And this is how we can get our Angular library. And that was quick and easy. Now let's do Bower install Bootstrap. And this is how we will get the Twitter Bootstrap library. This will download both the necessary CSS and the necessary JavaScript. All right, and finally, let's create a couple of folders that we're going to use along the way. I'm going to make a public/views directory, and this is where all of our Angular views will go. And then I'm also going to make a public/source or src directory, and this is where all of our custom JavaScript is going to go. All right, so if I go ahead and open up our project directory here, you can see we have our node modules directory with the Express module that we installed for the server end. And then on the front end, we have our public folder, we have lib, which includes the Angular and Bootstrap libraries that we installed. Bootstrap requires jQuery, so that was installed as well. And then we have the empty source and view directories, which we'll use as things progress. Okay, so now that we have our project set up, we're ready to actually begin writing some code.